Hey, frequent flyers, welcome to Baggage Claim. I'm your host, Lauren Osborne. On today's episode, we're just talking about the baggage of life, what care consistency looks like, and I share about my highs and lows of Denmark and my guest Tempest being a little overwhelmed, a little overloaded, but don't worry, when the episode ends, we both feel a lot lighter. Thank you so much, as always, and I hope you enjoy the episode. Hey, listeners, welcome to Baggage Claim. I'm your host, Lauren Osborne. And as you know, on this podcast, it is the place where we recognize that everyone has baggage. And each episode, we just talk about it. And the baggage can be anything, good, bad, it's just life. We talk about it. We explore the contents of our luggage. And then each episode, we pick something we want to check in and a souvenir that we want to keep. I am joined by a very special guest, multi-talented, multifaceted. Also, her name is just amazing. Thanks for joining me. Everyone say hi to Tempest Pierce. Hello.
Hi. Thank you for having me. Oh, I like that introduction. I should start saying that. Thank you. I'm definitely
true.
glad to join.
The mark. I'm so glad we're finally doing this. It took a second.
Yes.
We're here.
Yes, we've arrived.
We've arrived. It's February. We're on like the second week of February. Well, really the first week of February because it's Monday. Happy Black History Month to my melanated family. What a time to be alive, you know?
Woohoo!
Yeah. Oh, woo. Also, thank you, TikTok and Instagram influencers who are making just this Black History Month even better, throwing out facts, throwing out amazing videos and content. I just appreciate you. And I just had to put that out there. How are you doing? How are you today? If you could describe what your mood is in 2 words for this morning, what would it be?
I think for today, I am overwhelmed.
No.
Yes, overwhelmed. Overwhelmed can be a good and a bad thing, though.
Yeah.
So I definitely think that is a fitting word for me. I'm overwhelmed in a great way because I have a lot of great things going on for me. And I'm also overwhelmed because we know life be lifing and the baggage claims be claiming.
Right? So you're on carousel 5 of life called.
Oh my goodness. It's wild and crazy.
I feel that. I am looking forward to not this weekend, but next weekend. I have a photo shoot for the Baggage Claim podcast, and we're doing it actually, you know what? I'm going to do surprises, right? Surprises for the followers. You'll see the new cover.
Yes. Don't tell us. I can't wait.
But I'm very excited. Okay, so let's dig into it. I'm going to do the warm-up questions that I feel like some of the listeners from the regular day ones have not heard in a while. So I'm going to give you the first 3 questions. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Question 1 would be, what did emotions look like in your house growing up?
I'm not ready. I'm just kidding. Ooh, what did emotions look like in my house growing up? So a lot of people don't know this about me, but I have a very interesting childhood. I moved around quite a bit. Fortunately, both of my parents suffered from substance abuse issues. And so I kind of house hopped is what I like to call it. I house hopped a lot. And I have gathered over the years and through my childhood a plethora of different what emotions look like from school teachers, counselors, foster home parents, the works, aunts, uncles, grandparents. And they kind of were non-existent outside of anger. Even, of course, you had a few. I did see happiness and smiles, especially in the school districts when I would go to school. But I kind of used those models to create now what I look at as my childhood. So I think that I only processed three emotions. I'll say 3: sadness, happy, and anger.
I'm sad. That makes me sad.
Yeah, don't be sad. It has helped me become the person I am today. So I will say that did lead to me exploring my psychology degree. So I have a bachelor's degree in psychology. I wanted to be a child psychologist,
Mm-hmm.
and that was because of my childhood. And then I ended up getting my master's degree, a dual master's actually, in counseling and rehabilitation and
You're
visual
badass.
counseling services. So I learned a lot. I definitely learned a
Yeah.
lot. And I honestly wouldn't change it because I probably would not have become the person I am today.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I saw. I think a lot of people sometimes see about three emotions.
Right.
And yeah, from a child's point of view, you don't really
Right.
know what those are outside of their facial expressions or their communication, which is like nonverbal.
Right.
So
I mean, there's so much said without saying anything.
yeah.
I
Hmm.
always felt fearful of, making a mistake. I feel like my
Yeah.
mom was a perfectionist and she wanted perfect children. And I think it's kind of hard to get everything right on your first time.
Yeah.
And I was, how we were raised like religiously younger, you were always like fearful of Armageddon. So I was like a fearful child.
Yeah. And
So,
it was just a look, right? Even
mhm,
if they looked at you like across the room, like, it
right.
was all of those
It
things.
definitely made me shrink, actually. You know how some people they bust out, right? I shrank.
Mhm.
And for a long time I shrank until I just stopped shrinking. And now I'm trying to blow up. Woo. Okay, well, thank you for sharing. Okay, question 2 would be, what does joy look like to you?
Ooh, that's a good one. Joy. Hmm. I would say it definitely is. I don't know necessarily what it would look like for me, but if I had to compare it to something that we can see that's inanimate, I would
Mhm.
think a sunny day, walking across the sand, eating ice cream, and not being sunburnt. Like, joy
Okay.
is that, yeah, it's like that moment of energy that it feels so good, it's
Mhm.
unexplainable,
Yeah,
right? And
authentic,
it doesn't change.
simple. Yeah.
Yes, it's very simple. It doesn't change. There's no confusion and it's not situational. It
Yeah.
literally is just there. It just
It's just
exists.
there. Yeah. I love that. I love that. Thank you for sharing. I feel, I don't know what that, I mean, I feel like I've answered this so many times on different podcasts, on different episodes, but right now, joy to me would look like a permanent ceasefire. So again, I'm throwing it out every episode. Free Palestine till it's backwards. We've got this is
Yes.
inhumane. This is inhumane. Okay. Then final of the 3 icebreaker questions, and then we'll do the fun card. What is one thing, and it actually doesn't have to be one thing, but what is something that you really would want the world to know about you?
Ooh. Something I would want the world to know about me. I think I would want them to know that my heart really is pure gold. I
It is.
feel like I have learned over the years and just dealt with. I think I'm an attractive young lady, so even when I was growing up, I had a lot of issues with other women,
Mm-hmm.
or I had issues with getting the wrong attention from men
Mm-hmm.
sometimes, even at a young age,
Mm-hmm.
or I have even in my adulthood been told that I couldn't be that nice, or someone didn't like me because I was too nice, or,
Mm.
you
Right.
know, that my heart really is pure gold, meaning I am very optimistic and I always see the good before I
Mm-hmm.
see the bad, which is a blessing and a curse, right?
Right.
But
It is.
I would want them to genuinely know nothing about that is fake in me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm never trying to obtain attention that I don't want on purpose, if that makes
Mm-hmm.
any sense.
It does.
Um, I think that would be what I want them to know.
Yeah.
That it's
And
real, it's genuine.
what's crazy is for people that are like, they're just like too nice. Now, listen, I'm a
Yes,
realist. I
yes.
know I'm a person that if a person rubs me wrong, like I can't quite get it, but there's something there. I'm not gonna like write them off, but to write someone off for being kind when kindness is free,
Yes.
right?
Yes,
It's
exactly.
free, like anyone can do it, right? It's all inclusive. But I think what really gets me is what it just shows is it reflects on them, right? Like, does it really have anything to do with you? Because why can't you accept kindness? Have you not been
Right.
around that? Is it foreign to you? You know what I mean? So, but that was a great answer, and I appreciate you sharing that.
Thank you for asking.
Ew. Okay, we're going to do a collection of questions for deeper discussions, our final one, and then we'll dig into the episodes, shall we?
Yes.
All right. All right. This one is, in your biography, which chapters would you ask your parents to skip?
To ask my parents to skip, I would probably tell them they need to skip over college.
Right? Yeah.
College
Yeah.
was a little college was a little young and dumb and doing things I don't feel like my parents would be very proud of. But um, you know, maybe for sure if they were just reading my biography, they might need to
Mhm.
skip over that. I feel like that during that age a lot of times we are in relationships or situationships that we really shouldn't be in, and we're not really using our
Our
decision
brains,
making
our
right.
fully functioning brain. It hasn't even
We're
grown all the
not
way.
rational enough at
Yeah.
that age.
Yeah.
So yes, for sure.
I think mine would definitely be in college, mid college, but there's a part of me that is like, maybe not.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, see the whole story, right? You can't, I mean, and I feel like, honestly, I don't want you to skip any chapter. I wouldn't want them to skip any chapters because, I mean, you don't even get your grading, right, as a parent, right,
Until
until
you
your
can
children are
see, yeah,
adults and
absolutely.
they can tell you this was good or
Right.
so. Honestly, read it all, mention it
Read
all.
it all of it. You're so
Mention it
right.
all, because
Let's
otherwise they might be like, I don't remember it like that. Well, maybe this will remind you, you know? That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, so what are we getting into today? I figured the baggage could just be one, a celebratory trip that we're all taking for the month of February. Happy Black History Month. Also, it's a leap year, so we have the 29th. And I
yes.
believe it is a lunar, like a lunar something in the
Like a
Chinese
lunar moon.
culture. Yeah, all of these are happening right here. So
Nice.
I guess I
And it's
just
my birthday month, so it's the best month.
ah,
Woohoo!
okay, so I know you don't want to stalkers and stuff, right? So what's your sign? Are you an Aquarius?
I am an Aquarius.
Okay. And do you have big plans for your birthday?
So my friends are actually planning a birthday extravaganza in Atlanta.
Nice.
Yeah, so we're going to Atlanta and we're gonna have some fun. Another friend of mine, we usually do our birthdays are very close, so we usually do things together.
Mhm.
And the last thing we did together was a sneaker ball. We collected school supplies and tennis shoes
Mhm.
for a less fortunate elementary school and donated them. And so we had a sneaker ball together. So this year we're gonna go to Atlanta, and we love doing just kind of quirky things. So we're gonna make
Oh,
like our own song at a real studio. We're gonna go
I've
skating.
seen a housewife show do that.
Oh, really? Yeah. So I'm excited about that. As a little
I'm
fun fact
excited
about
for you.
me, I like freestyling randomly in the mirror like Issa Rae. So
Oh, okay. So is it hip hop? Are you a singer or?
no, not at all. Sound good in the shower though. You know the
Yeah,
echo.
I wasn't blessed with the pipes. I wish that I was, but I wasn't blessed with the vocals. But I still sing anyway, and I do it in the car. Like today, I was doing late '90s, early 2000s pop. So good, so good. And they also had ballads because "The Power of Love" by Celine Dion came on there, and I was like,
Oh, nice.
So, shout out. You know what? Actually, I'm not, right? I was going to mention like a Grammy moment, but you know what? I'm going to mention, how about we just do a ceasefire? Okay. And move on, so we won't even mention the Grammy,
Agreed.
right? Like we just can't. But there were some moments. I don't even watch, I can say like with my ADHD, I can't watch award shows. I'm going to be honest. I can't do it. I can't stay in that place. I'm not pulled there, but I am looking forward to watching the Super Bowl halftime show. I'll even throw on a jersey if we can globally push for a permanent ceasefire. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to go with that. So for you, during this fabulous month, what are you hoping? Let's do a love letter to ourselves for this one, right? For this episode. So since it's this dang, commercialized holiday called Valentine's Day, And you're married and in love. So you have a Valentine. I'm single and not, and I don't have a Valentine. And I'm okay with that. I'm just okay with it because I'd rather be alone than miserable. So
Yeah.
what, if you were going to write a love letter to yourself, and it could be for last year, it could be for last month, it could be short and sweet. Like, what are some of the things that you would put in this love letter to yourself?
I definitely would say to myself, you're doing a great job. Remember to give yourself grace, glow and grow, be kind to yourself, and P.S. I love you.
Oh, that was good.
Yeah,
That was
that would
good.
be my letter.
I think in my love letter, I think I would tell myself that joy does come in the morning.
Nice.
I am impressed by me, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'd want to thank me, right? And I think I would tell myself that right or wrong, good or bad choices that I've ever made are literally creating the content of my life, and
Yeah.
that time doesn't go backwards. Like, we just don't get it back. So it's going to be okay, and things are going to work out, and you can do hard things and you can do easy things, and you're lovable, valuable, worthy, and I love you much.
I love you much.
Yeah.
I've started saying to people, I heart you.
Mm.
I've noticed I get such a warm smile, almost like a sense of joy if you tell someone, you know what, I heart you. Because
Mm-hmm.
I feel like people cringe sometimes with the word love, right? Because
Yes.
they either romanticize it or it makes them feel some type of way. No matter what, if I've met a stranger briefly and we just kind of connected and I leave them and I say, I heart you. Have a great day. I tell
Mm.
that to my students all the time now. They're like, oh my God, I heart you too.
I love that. I heart
So
you.
I heart you.
I generally just tell people that they are treasures. That's like my favorite thing.
Oh, I love that. You're treasures.
You're a treasure. I think, what is your favorite compliment that you get? And it doesn't have to be aesthetically. Like, what is the thing that you're like, if someone says that, you're like, hey, thank you.
My favorite compliment actually came today. You said I am multi-talented.
Yes.
And in all honesty, and as humble as this may not sound, I know that I'm really good at a lot of things. And people say that to me in different forms, but no one has worded it. Say, you know what, you're multi-talented. And so I think that is by far my favorite compliment. So thank you for that.
You're very welcome.
Yes, it's like, okay, I love that. It made me a little bashful, made me blush, but it's like one of those things that you're like, doesn't have anything to do with your physical appearance, right? And
Right.
usually we cringe when people say something about our physical appearance. Some people we're like,
Yes.
oh, okay, thanks. But
Right.
that was like, you know what? I really am. And I'm aware of that. And I own that. And I appreciate you for saying that. So, yes, that is I'm going to have to add that to my bio. I'm not kidding.
Please do. It's true. I mean, at least you're
Yeah.
keeping it honest.
Yeah. What's
I
yours?
I think I think a compliment is, one, you did that really well, right? Or like, you did
Wow.
that well, like, great
Yeah.
job. I find that to be great, because I feel like, because what you're trying to like leave a perfectionist mindset, that like, in your mind, it's probably not great,
Good enough.
not like
Right.
the best job,
Hmm.
right? But to hear that and have that reassurance, I really like. And I also really like it when I'm complimented on like my directness and my loyalty, because I just feel like I'm kind of a shitter get off the pot. Sometimes I'll literally, the Libra in me tries to like balance things too much and be like, oh, but maybe, and overthink. But when I can just be like my general self, and I know I can have a sharp tongue. So my growth in being able to express myself, but be kind about it, because again, it's free, is a compliment that I like getting.
I like that.
So, okay, if we were going to pick something that we want to explore today, like content, we've done a love letter, right? We found that in the bag, and we wrote it to ourselves. I think the letter works for the younger me, the current me, and the older me.
Absolutely.
And I'm looking, and it's crazy because it does feel like it was like a fast forward from 2019 to 2024. It
Agreed.
feels like, where did time go? But it's also sped through my 30s, like significantly, like things are just happening.
Yes.
And they don't stop happening. The carousel never stops spinning, right? But I feel as if, and this may sound weird, but like I almost feel like I don't want to say stunted growth, but like I almost feel like that pause that the world kind of had, like shook, from 2021. I feel like I'm kind of like in a delayed place. Like I'm where I want to be, but I'm not where or I don't feel like I'm where I want to be. That could be
Yeah.
capitalism. That could be like the woes of the world. That could be the checklist of things I'm going to do. And this is my 5-year plan and all of those things not coming to fruition, or some that did. But I'm going to say mid 30s, guys. I'm not like 31, right? Like this being in here feels very strange. And it almost feels like my mom had like 2 kids by like 33 and was like doing the damn thing, right? I have 2 dogs. Like I feel like the stuff that our parents literally strived, accomplished, went through all these things, and they're in the same age realm as I am, and it makes me feel like, what is this life and why? Like literally, that's how it feels. Like
Yeah.
I feel
It's like a time warp.
yes, and I feel like what are these? It's like I'm trying to like plan without planning, because I mean I'm moving abroad, like I'm letting go of things. I'm trying to minimize, like, my I go on my trip, and even coming back from my trip and realizing the stuff that I need to do, and like where I kind of want my life to be, because it does still feel like kind of a moving target, right? And it's always felt like a moving target to me. So I guess I'm just feeling a little confused. This could also be 123 days of a televised genocide, where my mindset is like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm doing okay, right? I'm still here. I'm surviving. I'm doing okay. But it feels like stepping into this, I guess my expectations and ideals keep changing like every year. And does it change for you, or are you staying kind of on? Do you have your trajectory going?
Yeah, it absolutely changes. I think it's really all of the above, right? We're overexposed to all these different things and opportunities that we can do or have. But I've heard many times by a couple of mentors that I have that it's never the no's are not hard, it's the yeses.
Right.
All the things that now we can say yes to because of the access we have, the exposure
Right.
that we're getting. And so it makes you a little overwhelmed, which goes back to my word,
Yes.
with the opportunities that we have that we never knew we had the opportunity to do. And so it's so many things, and time is moving by so fast but slow at the same time. It's so weird.
Right.
I feel like the 30s is just a time warp.
Time warp.
Like I think I shared that with you before. I was like, the 30s, why the 30s really are so dirty. Like we're so confused. But yeah, all the same, my ideas and thoughts change, and I find myself sometimes being stagnant because of that,
Right.
and not knowing which direction to go to. It's like we have all these different roads, and I'm just standing there in the middle, like overthinking which road I should even take instead of even taking the first
And
step.
overthinking, I'm really trying to be one of those people that like, I stay in the present. I live in the present. But my mind can take me to the past, years in the future, seconds in the
Yeah,
future. I'm
absolutely.
making up things that I don't even know, but I know for me that like I feel like I left my corporate job, my comfy job, one to pursue this podcast and like to move abroad. And I'm doing this now, and part of me feels like where was this courage? I feel like I had courage, but I didn't have the focus when I was younger.
Right.
So and then I also have like the reality and wisdom of life is going to life. So I also know that for everything you have, everything has a choice, right? Like and and to accept these choices. Like I'm really trying in this moment to be able to, as they say in therapy, sit in the discomfort of change and growth.
Yeah.
But I feel also like, I don't know, part of me wishes like maybe I didn't have a phone, like maybe I didn't know people, maybe I wouldn't feel like an imposter. My imposter syndrome, it feels strong, but I am also recognizing that I feel stronger than that imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
So it's a mix between the two. And I think that like, I don't know, girl, everything I feel like I had on like my pre-list before I like turned 30, right? You know how you're like, 25, you're like, I'm gonna get a job, all of these things. I feel like they have changed dramatically so much. Like career wise, I wonder, because I gotta make a living, right? And it's just trying to find what I really like love and want all at the same time while also being easily distracted and
Yes.
having so much access to everything that I'm like hopping just like back and forth.
Yes, it's overstimulating. Yeah. I have my god brother. He is the CEO for a company called Behind Every Door, but we always have these conversations. And one thing that he said to me with him trying to just balance life, because he's a CEO, he has children, he has a wife, he has family, he has friends, he's in a fraternity, like all these things. And he said, the way that it kind of helps me is every time that I say yes to something, I need to consider then what am I saying no to because I said yes.
Mm,
Yeah. So that I know for sure has helped me with deciding what to say yes to. Because even if it's as small as, okay, I want to move, across to another country,
hmm.
I'm saying yes to moving. What does that mean I'm saying no to then right now?
Right. That's
And
where,
then sitting in that, right? And
yeah,
then being okay with that.
yes. That's what I realized. I was supposed to be, moving to Denmark in like next month. And I went to Denmark. Trip was lovely. Everyone bikes. I mean, the vibe it's a good vibe, right? Different, right? Definitely a culture shock, but I think that it's also such a safe, Copenhagen, such a safe city, so clean, all of these things. And in making that choice, at first I was going to go fast, but as I say yes to this new part of my life, I also want to say no to rushing this and no to
Hmm.
being unprepared and no
Yeah.
to being, and of course, you can honestly, prep is key, right? Like in life, but things change, things happen. But I think for me, it is also kind of a level of accepting, right? That there will be sacrifices, right? With this move. Like
Yeah.
it's not
Yeah.
going to be easy. And now that I have given myself more time, and I'm really proud of myself because usually I wouldn't. And I even think about the living situation with the person I went to visit, and I think about how things happened because it was like a blast from the past, like an ex from a long time ago. Like I realized we hadn't seen each other in like 13 years,
Dun dun dun.
right? That's going to be a whole other episode, but I can say that I even when I go back to like 13 years, it was like, I was kind of like a codependent queen, and I just literally was like, oh, blah, blah, blah. We're spending all this time together. And I think like after like a month or two, we were like living together. Right. And it felt like I got this weird kind of feeling. I had like stomach problems the whole time. I really felt like it was like my anxiety and like my mind. I can say on this trip that I had a very hard time emotionally regulating, right? I literally was struggling. And at first I thought it was jet lag or just like mother nature, like PMSing that month. But no, it was anxiety. It was high. But part of me like could not quite relax because I could feel something was amiss. And then of course I had therapy after, and she was like, are maybe you just recognize that you've already done this and you don't
Yeah.
want to do it again. And
Again. Yeah.
I feel that. it has to be different how I get there, and it has to be completely for me. And
Not
um,
attached to maybe anything or anybody
right,
else.
exactly. And it was almost, I had a lot of, my internal monologue was just going nuts during this trip. I still had an amazing time. Like, I really did. I'm so happy that I went. I'm relieved that I went. It gave me like the knowledge that I need, the wisdom. It gave me to take off the rose colored glasses to kind of step into the Lauren and like the life that I do daydream about. I have to also be realistic with those like daydreams and empathetic to those, and smart, you know? So it was very eye opening as a trip. And I guess that just aligns with like the 30s part, where I think that I rely so much, for so long, I was able to like lean on someone else, right? Like whether it be my mom, brother, or someone I was dating, or like my ex-husband, all of those things. I almost never really had to stand on my own 2 feet until like the last 4 years, right? And in doing so, I think it would be so easy just to lean on someone, because I feel like it's important to have that. But I have now realized like I can stand up. You know, I am capable, and I don't I know I want to do this. I know I want to move, and I don't even want to say I want to do it right. I just want to handle it. You know, that's what my mom used to always say, like, handle
Just
it.
handle it. Just
And
do.
that's what I want to do. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
wonder too. I'm just curious because I'm wondering, just like even listening to you, if it's almost a sense of feeling like you're not free, right? Because just you talking about the move, you talking about the change, you're talking about just really pursuing a dream, it gives a sense of freedom.
Hmm.
And wondering if you maybe being back in that environment and being almost feeling like now you're not necessarily just free, it's kind of coming with a price tag with it, or you know what I mean? It's coming with a little bit more baggage with it, instead of just Lauren being free.
Right.
And because it's another person involved on some form or some level
Hmm.
that came,
Yeah.
honestly, from the past. So it's like,
Right.
oh
It's
yeah, I can
that,
see that.
it's, I guess what I'm really wanting is, I want um, a freedom. I guess I want to feel like I'm not um, leashing myself, and leashing myself to my old life, and to an old way of thinking. And I want to be able to have a level of like genuine vulnerability. But for me, there's also like, I'm a, I hate to say it, right? Like live on this podcast, but like, I'm kind of a scaredy cat, right? So I didn't even at the beginning of my trip, and granted, I'm not from a walking city, listeners, but it unnerved me. First of all, Copenhagen's so freaking safe and clean. Oh my God. But I literally was afraid to like go walking and exploring for the first couple days. So that's what I mean by like, I could not quite emotionally regulate, because I felt like I put a lot of pressure on myself, and like it was and and when I say regulate, I guess I feel like I couldn't be present like I wanted to be present. So I'm going back again this summer. It was also cold as hell. It was cold as ice. I'll say that. But it was also really fun, and it was really nice to reconnect. And it was a rose and a thorn. Was like, the rose was that I went and I got to see where I want to live. I mean, the air is fresher. I mean, honestly, right? And I think I did it again. The thorn was just realizing how many more things I need to take care of before I can do that. And it's not really a thorn, you know. I guess it doesn't really bother me that much, but it was definitely illuminating. I do feel like I want to be unshackled. Like, I've already unshackled myself from the desk, right? Like, I need a second. And I just want to make sure that I can, because I met someone there. I'm going to consider her a friend. She was great. There were tons of pluses. Like I can see what it's going to look like over the rainbow, right? But in order for a rainbow to happen, there's going to be, some precipitation, right? And that's what I'm seeing, recognizing, and I just want to make sure that, or am making sure that I just do it and do it kind of with ease. Like it's going to be work, but the payoff is going to be worth it.
I definitely think the payoff will be worth it. Just got to do the work.
Yeah, I did the work, Yanla style.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, this is literally, I guess the other part is like, I feel like I've always been like the girl, like, oh, you have the job, you have like the place, like very checklist, right? I'm really going off the grid right now. And even though I feel like there'll be like growing pains, like I think I'm really going to look back on this time with like a lot of pride and joy and happiness about it. Like that's what it feels like. Cause I've never done this kind of like nomad vagabond style before. And it is liberating, and I'm going to keep this liberation going. So I need to like feel good about my flight. So it's a long one. It's like 9 hours and 45 minutes.
Well, I'm excited for you.
Well, thank you. I'm sorry. I just like chatted.
No, that was good. You needed to process it.
Yeah. Well, I already had therapy. I had therapy this morning. So
yeah, but
so I'm double doing
it just gives you the tools.
Yeah.
It gives you the tools. So it's kind of like, okay, let me put it into play.
So that would be my baggage, is coming back. And although I'm very excited that I have a lot of work to do, and it's going to be different. It is going to be different, a change in my comfort zone. I mean, I'm downsizing, and I already only have like, one bedroom. I'm going even smaller. And I kept saying I want to be a minimal girl, right? That's for 2024. And I'm forcing myself to do that. Like,
yes.
That was also super great to see, which was like my space situation. How much room I'm going to actually have. Not much. So, not much. What's your baggage for this week? I feel like I'm just talking.
No, this is great. Oh, my baggage this week. Oh my goodness. I think that I'm just going back to the word of being overwhelmed. That's my bag of baggage, right? Because we have some luggage that is our favorite.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And then we overpack sometimes. And I feel like I'm in the overpack season this week. I am typically a yes girl, and
you're doing no.
Yes, and that's why I don't have a choice now, but to say no, because literally I've overpacked.
Yeah.
I don't have any room to fit anybody else's shoe inside. I don't have any room I am over the 50-pound maximum weight. I am at capacity.
You're at capacity.
So my baggage this week is finding a healthy balance and saying no, because it's just too much.
Yeah.
It's too, all of it's too much. I'm managing a business. I'm managing being a professor at a school. I'm managing being a wife. I'm managing a 2-year-old. I'm just managing a lot. And then myself, right? Because I'm trying to have time for self-care, and I'm managing outside of running the business. I actually still do client services too. So all of those things are just overwhelming, but they're good, right? There's a lot of good in that. And then I'm still processing, life and being 30 and dealing with things from my family and friends who are going through things. And I'm still a counselor at heart, right? Because I have my counseling degrees. And so I'm listening to my friends who are calling me, or coworkers who are calling me, just to vent and process. And so I'm taking on all of these things, and I'm artsy. So again, I'm pretty talented. People ask me to create things for them. They want me to paint these. They want me to make this. They want me to make that. And I'm literally, this week, my bag is too full.
Can't do it.
I cannot do it. Not even a little bit.
At all. And that's okay.
Yeah, but I've never been a person who couldn't do it. You know, that's the kind of the blessing and curse. When you're good at a lot of things, you're usually capable of making things happen. And I'm at a place right now in my life that I just cannot make it happen. I
Well,
can't cross the T. I can't dot the I. I can't finish the sentence. I can't keep the house 100% clean. I can't remember, Lauren, that the clothes are still in the wash machine and I keep washing them over and over again. I just can't remember, you know? So, yeah, it's my bag is overwhelmed with it in the bad.
Well, I mean, what could lighten the load theoretically? Not even an actual thing, just like a tiny step. Like what could do it?
Honestly,
I think you're saying no, right?
Yeah, it's me saying no, right? And it's also me being okay with I'm a finisher, right? I'm a person that has these goals. I'm a checklist girl just like you. And being okay knowing that everything is not going to get checked off this list today.
Yep.
It's just that, I mean, I say it's simple, but it's clearly not. Not when you've been programmed a certain way to meet all these goals and put all this pressure on ourselves. I feel like that's something that we do as well because, again, we're looking at all these different opportunities and we're like, I'm not doing enough. And
But
it's like, no, we are.
I mean,
we're doing more than
honestly, think about it. When a Black woman is bored, what do? They get a new trade or degree.
Yes.
I mean, it's too much. And we've got to be, and it's very hard because you're like, I could do more. I could do more.
Yeah.
And I guess part of me, I mean, literally, I'm working on it. It's one of the things I'm working through is when is it cool to just say just enough?
It's enough. It's enough. Yeah.
Well,
and
yeah.
You don't want your body to tell you it's enough because you've just done too much.
Right.
So I think it's okay to just enough.
Well, I think you're doing great. All the things you said you can't do, you're actually doing. All the things.
Yes, I've only washed the clothes 2 times yesterday instead of 4, so I'm getting better.
Right? I mean, I'm getting rid of my dresser because I just, I'm really stepping into like the tips that they give for people with ADHD, and it's just like, listen, no drawers, it's cubes only because out of sight, out of mind, like my object permanence. I'm just accepting those things and getting rid of them. And that's been my like helper this week.
Nice. Out of sight, out of mind. That is so true.
Like literally, and it's terrible, but it is the way, like my mind does not work in the laundry. Oh yeah, it's in there. I need a ting or a timer on my watch that I put because I don't see it. I don't hear it. It's not there. I've never seen I could walk past it a million times.
Yeah, same.
So
clearly the same for me.
Well, girl, how do you feel? Do you feel any lighter?
I definitely feel lighter. And I feel like ownership, right? Because now the rest of this week, I'm going to be saying no.
Right?
I feel so much lighter. I really do. And thank you for those questions. I feel a lot lighter and I feel a little more in control. When you're overwhelmed, you just feel out of control. And I'm like, no, it's okay. I'm a little more in control.
Cool. Okay. I feel that too. Just talking this, literally working through like how I have to work like the next like 6 months before I move.
Yeah.
It's great to talk out. So I really appreciate you.
To use those tools. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay. So what would be the baggage we're checking in?
I think I'm checking in the yes bag.
Okay.
I'm checking in yes. I'm checking in the to-do list.
Okay. Okay.
And I definitely leaving it. That has to go. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm definitely checking in the I have to, I must, I have to, I must in my mind. I'm checking in those statements. Those are going in, checking in because it takes a toll just on me, my self-talk, everything, because It makes me feel shackled. I'm shackled by my own statement. So I'm
Yeah.
changing that verbiage. And I think the other thing that I'm going to be checking in is when it comes to like the priorities for like my health and my well-being, because I just like super cleaned my house and it felt so good. But I'm just not gonna. I'm checking in that neglect. Right, it's getting TLC these days. So that's
Nice. Yeah. Check that in for me too. The
yeah,
neglect. That's a
the
good one.
neglect. Yeah,
Yeah. But
and
and which all ties into the stuff that you're saying yes to, then we run out of time to really either take care of ourselves or take care, and which is a part of taking care of our homes too.
right,
Yeah.
right. I mean, I'm trying to think like when people are like, "Oh, well balanced." It's like the little things. I'm the souvenir, I guess, that I would bring with me from this is just discipline, and not in an ugly, weird coach way. Champions are born or made, not born. I don't know what the statement says, but in a way that like I'm giving myself the discipline to know you are going to like journal each day, even if it's like a sentence, because you need that rest, community, just that type of discipline. It's not, I need to get up at like 5 and do like a 2 a day or something. That's not the discipline I'm looking for myself. I want it to be, I took care of myself today. I did, and I want working out, yes, to be a part of that regular thing, but also journaling. So is prayer. So is, checking in,
Right.
checking on people. So being disciplined in that, because right now it's the world is giving very much, where is humanity? So making sure I find that in myself is what I'm
Maybe we
taking
can call it care. Maybe we can call it care consistency.
care consistency. I like that.
Yeah, because then it's kind of just like us being consistent with caring about ourselves and doing something for us.
Mm-hmm.
So then we're not putting that I must, I have to, on there,
Exactly.
because
Mm-hmm.
care consistency could also be that day that you just rest.
Right.
Yeah, I like
So then
that.
the other things are like, instead of like I have to, it's like I get to,
I
or
get to. Oh, I
I'm
like.
going to, or looking
I'm going
forward
to.
to. You know what I'm saying? Instead of I
Yeah.
have to, I must. Because those they really do kind of
Oh,
shackle.
that really helps me not feel overwhelmed too. Like
Yeah.
even if you kept, like you kept that checklist and you're like, you know what? Oh my gosh, I get to work on X, Y, and Z today.
Yes. I literally keep mine. I have I have like 3 dry erase boards in this small little apartment. But I have it because I write my list on there and then I just erase as I go. Like sometimes they're not always clear, but it's progress, not perfection. And I get to do these things. Like I'm trying to step in that gratitude. So yeah.
I love that.
Well, thank you. Thank you so, so much. This was so fun.
Yeah.
This was an amazing recording. Where can the listeners find you? Do you want them to find you? And tell them where.
Yeah, absolutely. You can find me on all social platforms, T Pierce is Fierce, or follow my business at Pretty Parkway.
Yes, and she's amazing. Again, multifaceted. We'll get into that another episode because we're going to have to do another recording.
Yeah.
This was so great. Well, listeners, thank you as always for listening to Baggage Claim. If you ever have any ideas or suggestions for topics, or you just want to follow me, our Instagram is Check In Your Baggage. You can also check our website, which I say it's me, checkyourbags.com. And as always, everyone has baggage. It looks different for everyone. It feels different for everyone. The gift and the gag is you get to choose what you carry. So as always, thank you so much for listening to Baggage Claim, and we will talk to you next time.
Bye.
Bye.